today's video, we are reacting to Nobody Cares About Streaming Anymore.
Oh my gosh.
What are my thoughts? I think people still care, you know. I guess we need to get into the video, get a little bit more context as to what old music is referring to. I think people still care. They're still interested in streaming and stuff like that. So with that being said, let's go into this video and see what music is.
Don't watch games no more like that on Twitch. I'm telling you, bro. Y'all acting like if games crushed on Twitch the way they used to, like a few years ago, you don't think everybody would stop the IRLs and start playing games?
Twitch it's becoming harder and harder to become streamers because all y'all think y'all need to be doing IRLs. Y'all all trying to be like these at the top. You got motherfuckers talking about desktop streaming is dying. How is that even impossible? It's not even possible. It's just the niggas you watching. Desktop streaming will never die. It's just the niggas you watch. You have been so overstimulated by them. When they do decide to do desktops, it just feels.
Where the fuck's Illuminati at, man? This nigga pops in once every 4 months, drops a video, and then that nigga leave. Like, where you at, bro? I mean, actually not. He probably focused on his mental health and shit like that. So I guess a shout out to that nigga. But like, damn, nigga, can you upload more often, bro? YouTube be kind of boring without you, bro.
Dry.
Y'all know how expensive it is to keep up with content creation? You can get a 10K check from Twitch. What the f is a 10K check when you gotta spend 5K on trips to travel, $500 on setup, $2,000 on your rent, $200 on Wi-Fi, $200 on IRL toolkit. You gotta pay the clippers, pay a YouTube editor. Chat, I don't think y'all realizing I be going into negative doing this. Okay?
Well, it looks like Cleopatra Omar has been correct. It looks like Ostradamus's prediction was right. Who's somebody else that can see into the future? It looks like Omar Baxter's vision came true. Just a couple years ago, streamers figured out that they could lift up from their desktop, stretch their legs, and go out into the real world. And to be honest with you, ever since that happened, the world went to hell. No, it wasn't Rudy Gobert who brought on the pandemic. It was those that were.
That's crazy. I wonder like if Rudy, I feel like Rudy Gobert, if he could go back in time, bro, he would take that. Like, I know he did it as a joke because at the time, bro, nobody thought it was seriously. I feel like once this happened, bro, that's when everybody like in the NBA hated this nigga, bro. That's crazy. He was trying to troll and think it was a joke, and then the NBA actually gets shut down. Man, what a time to be alive.
IRL streamers. That's a fact. But as the stakes raised more and more and the drama got bigger, greater, and louder, things became too much for content creators to handle. And I made a prediction last year that we would see a change in the space of content creation where people would actually be going back to their desktop where they could build a safe community and home for themselves. And we are seeing that in real time. If you're new to this, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It goes a long way for the audience. Help me, help you, help me build a community by subscribing to the channel. Now, back into the video. Streaming culture changed heavily after the IRL explosion. I think one of the reasons why IRL content even took off is because, you know, I was joking a little bit earlier, but the pandemic helped bring people out of their homes and out of their lockdowns and out of the social separation era into the real world. People living in cities and states like New York that were on lockdown could live out their wildest dreams through content creators and streamers who gravitated to Atlanta, Georgia in order to see what is going on. And then content escalation became a norm. It went from doing things like walking around, going to Taco Bell, hanging out on Miami Beach, all the way up to these big, huge events. Hell, even major labels and brand deals got involved in the mix. Now, I've noticed recently in the comments sections that people have been complimenting me on my sweaters, but it doesn't just stop there. You know, one piece can make a fit, but step up your belt game today. IRL streaming just seemed like a money glitch. Endless participants, willing and unwilling, endless things to interact with, confrontation, surprise encounters, reaction is automatic. Things were just so over the top. It just made sense for people to lift up out of their desktops. And if you were still there, you were still behind. And for what it's worth, desktop streaming relied heavily on a solo individual's personality. With IRL, you could have less personality in my opinion, but also rely on the outside perspective to bring some sort of creative aspect to your content.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm part.
Now that's real shit. That makes sense because at first, bro, I had watched the video another content creator. I was watching the Astro Dior video where he was reacting to another nigga, basically talking about low effort content, and I feel like sitting at the desktop just chilling. In my opinion, that's also low effort content. Like me reacting to this shit, I'm doing the same shit. It's just I'm not on stream doing it. I'm making a YouTube video out of it. But yeah, like what the main point bro said was what's really gonna separate you is you talking and you having a personality and people watching for you. You know, I would see people comment under my videos and they would be like, bro, stop talking. Like, I'm trying to watch the video. Blah, blah, blah. Nigga, if you want to watch the video, you can fucking leave, bitch. How about that, nigga? You don't like what I gotta say, hoe ass nigga? You can fucking leave. Anyways, yeah, so like it's like if everybody's reacting to the same video, the only other things you could do that really stand out is be you. So now if I have something to say in the video, I'm gonna say my point. If I don't have nothing to say, then I'm gonna just shut the fuck up and let the video play. You know?
Popular opinion. Desktop's harder than IRLs, gang. Being a good desktop streamer takes more skill than being good. I don't care, be mad. I don't give a Yo, sit your down at this computer entertaining for hours. I don't give a That's more challenging than doing IRL. I don't give a You gonna be mad, you gonna be tight, I don't give a cry about it.
I think a lot of people don't realize how random IRL events are. Even before I cut the camera on, I felt like my life was an episode of Childish Gambino's show Atlanta, where if I went out of my house to do a simple errand, it took me on some adventure and some journey that ended up with me racing Michael Vick in the parking lot of a strip club. Yeah, that's not something that is fake. That is canonically accurate to the life of a young male Atlantean. With more and more people shifting to the IRL space, we saw a split. People wanted to stand out, so they did different things. You had one group of creators who went the extreme route. We're talking about the Claviculars, we're talking about the Jack Dohertys, the Ice Poseidons, the Dean the Greats. They went with rage bait.
We got out of there, motherfuckers. Let's go.
Watch your language. There's kids around here.
I didn't say any curse words. What'd I say?
Just watch your language.
What'd I say?
You got a stupid shirt on over there.
Yeah. Your kids can't read, though.
What are you talking about?
Your kids can't read, can they?
I'm sure your kids watch.
Get away from me.
You started talking to me, buddy.
Get away from me.
You get away from me. Watch your kids. Go walk away.
Dangerous stunts.
Fuck that little nigga, man. That's so crazy how he literally walked right into that, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of ways to get it, bro. You don't have to like, it's one thing to like rage bait people like in your house behind the screen, whatever, bro. It's a whole another thing to rage bait people in. And it's like, bro, what's the point? Like, in my opinion, going down that road of content creation, bro, like that's pretty ass, bro. You're bothering these people that, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to sit there and enjoy their day. And you come over being a dickhead for what reason? Like, speaking of dickhead, bro, where has Nina Lynn been? I ain't heard her name in a fat minute. I wonder what she been on. I hope she alright, but.
Oh, here they go. Hopefully someone clipped that shit. That was insane. Oh, fuck, they're making their way back here. Oh, fuck.
Shock value, public chaos, or even confrontation content. By far my favorite.
Are you the guy that got slapped on video?
I did, but I'll slap the shit out you, though.
I'm going to show you the inside of the house.
I'll make you another clip. Don't do that.
Seriously?
Don't do that.
All right. Or you had the subsection of creators who wanted
Nigga said. Nigga said, I. Nigga got the dog shit punched out of him and then he said, I.
to put on a spectacle, a show. People that wanted to emulate and imitate the shows of yesteryear that they grew up on and Mr. Beastify their content. I'm talking about the different subathons, whether it be Kai Cenat's Mafia-thon or FaZe's subathon with all the celebrity collaborations. You know, like when Neon links up with any random streamer or any of these over-the-top big productions like Streamer University.
It's crazy how many people were here for Streamer University, bro. And how many of these niggas, I don't know, a lot of these people still do content anymore. Like Duke, Raya. Let me see what I can see here. Well, I don't know. This picture's kind of grainy. I can't even. Oh, there's Ray. Rakai. I think that's Dez. Bro, there's a lot of people in here, bro. But yeah, bro. I don't know this many content creators, bro. I maybe watched like 10, 15 tops.
Most recently, I worked on the back end of one of these shows, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But I can also think of Jason the Ween going about the path of doing this whole surviving on an island thing. It's getting crazy out here in the space, which, for what it's worth, makes it harder to compete. One of the reasons why IRL streaming is seeing such a blow is because there is a saturation problem. There are simply too many creators competing for limited attention. And so when the supply explodes, then all of a sudden the value per stream drops. Now content creators must, be bigger, be more daring, more extreme. They must be louder, more emotional, all these different things in order to stand out. And that pressure starts to reshape the entire culture. Do me a favor, close your eyes and think about any of the IRL content that you consumed last year. If it wasn't some sort of crash out or a huge massive event like Stream University or Mafiathon, I can almost guarantee you that you don't remember it at all. And with that being said, it's not like people didn't create IRL content last year.
I feel like I remember a lot of Marlins. Marlon, in terms of people who went IRL, like I watched T Banks, but T Banks didn't really go. Oh, no, he did go IRL a lot, but I remember T Banks IRL. I remember Marlon IRLs. I think Duke might have went IRL once or twice, but other than that, though, I kind of started watching streaming at like August, September. I kind of got late into the year.
It just felt like there was so much to keep up with, and one after another happening over and over again, that, to be quite honest with you, it fell a little flat every single time. And the creator's response to it falling flat was not to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, maybe IRL streaming is the problem. Maybe I need to get my personality more involved. Maybe I need to think outside of the box. No. Creators decided to live by Grant Cardone's 10x rule, a philosophy that states having a goal and then trying to 10x it will yield more success. A streamer does a 30-day subathon, the next person's gonna do one that's uncapped. One stream costs 20K, well, the next one's gonna cost 100K. If you jumped off a roof, I'm jumping off a mountain, we're both gonna die. That doesn't matter to content creators. It worked for Mr. Beast, it worked for Kai Cenat. Why can't that happen to them? But all in all this does is create some sort of financial exhaustion, mental burnout, identity pressure, and constant comparison. Streaming has become less of an expression and more of this numbers chase, to the point where it's actually putting pressure on content creators that they feel the need to speak about these things.
But everybody needs systems. Like if you're just letting things happen to you and you're not adjusting, then you're not being a good human to yourself. Like you need a system. So I know if the view number's up, I'm gonna keep looking at the shit to see, oh, did they think that was funny? Do you like that joke with that? How many views we got? Is that segment good? I don't look at the view numbers. Yeah. I shut it down. I pop out my chat so I don't have to look at it. I always look at it though after the stream. Yeah. And then I'll see like, okay, hold on. They like this segment a lot. They didn't like this part. So maybe I could do more of this. I could do a part 2 of this. I could do more stuff with this person. So, but that's just, I learned that system on my second stream on Twitch.
Really?
Yeah. On my second full-time stream when I dove deep into it. Yeah. Because the first stream, I just kept looking at the number. So on the second stream, I was like,
I feel like, yeah, looking at the number of it will fuck you up. Because then it's like, there would be times, I remember I was in a T-Bank stream specifically, and this nigga had 1,000 viewers or whatever, right? And then as soon as he switched to some gambling shit, that whole dropped by like 500. And I know if that was me, and as I'm watching, as a viewer, I'm watching the number drop that crazy, I would just know that, oh man, that would fuck me up as a content creator. So yeah, I feel like personally, if you look at the number of people that's watching you, I would more so care about, is the chat moving? Like I could have 10 people watching me, as long as niggas is commenting and engaging, whatever. At that point, it's like I'm talking to 10 of my homies on a FaceTime call. You know what I mean? But yeah, looking at the numbers, I feel like would definitely fuck you over. That's low key part of the reason why I don't even stream on TikTok, because of like, damn, like the fact that I know I'm talking to 0 people, like that's kind of bad. But I mean, this is different, 'cause I'm talking to 0 people right now, but this is a YouTube video that's gonna get posted, so you know what I'm saying, tomato.
I gotta find a way to not see that number, bro. I don't want to see it. You can't hide it, so you just have to close the fucking browser and pop out your chat so you can read what your chat's saying.
At some point, this obsession with numbers can have you feeling like some sort of slave to the content creation journey that you're on. No longer is it about having fun. No longer is it about, just chilling with some friends, doing some cool stuff that you had a passion for. It becomes a numbers game, which means in order for you to keep up with said numbers game, you've got to increase the difficulty every single time. At least that's what streamers think. Now we're to a point where you can't just do simple shit anymore. You got to do the most complex.
Keep crashing, I don't know what to do. And when I'm watching these videos, they talking about put in the RTPM and then merge this over to this and then put the configurator in this and then go ahead and put the dashboard and then go to help and then do these. Like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Bro, I'm just trying to press the button and go fucking live, man. Like, this shit is so weird. I thought all I had to do was get Streamlabs and I'm good. Soon as I lose connection, the stream crash. So I need to figure out how can I merge this phone over to the OBS and have it to where it's cool. I'm just stuck, y'all. It's like, I'm being one.
It's crazy too, cause I literally bought the phone. I bought the same exact phone last year, thinking I was gonna do streams or whatever, this and that, and I never even went live, bro. Now I really just use this phone for Hinge to talk to hosts. That's really about it, bro.
100% honest with y'all right now. That's what I'm stuck on. That's what's delaying everything. If I do an IRL right now, as soon as I lose connection, which you automatically gonna lose connection, because I'm in Arizona, I don't have signal outside my house until I drive like probably like a 40, 50 seconds down this little road, because there's these mountains covering this whole area. So I ain't got no signal out there unless I'm on Wi-Fi.
Over the past weekend, I was able to tap into the production side of a love show, working the switchers and, audio and all the other technical stuff, from storytelling all the way to camera work for, 2 streamers who I'm trying to keep anonymous for whatever reason on the back end. And when I tell you it is hard work, it is way hard work. For those that know my roots on this YouTube thing, I started out working in the production and behind the scenes, and I'm glad to be back out in the field. But for what it's worth, the game has changed dramatically. Yeah, I just made up a word. There's so much that goes into a stream. For all the hours that somebody is live, double the amount of time is put into the production process. And one small mistake can kill the entire stream. There's a level of skill that you need that isn't easily obtainable. And one false move can get you cut off.
Hold the stream like this. No, walk. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Walk, nigga. Walk. Oh, sorry. Walk. You go like this. You push people out the way. You're the cameraman. You walk behind like this. Why are you doing that? Hold the camera.
I'm just trying not to hit you, bro.
How much y'all think? I'm paying this nigga damn near $200. You better get right. He held the stream for 30 minutes. What the fuck is we doing?
And we haven't even factored in the mental health aspect of what goes.
I mean, I guess that's fair. You should pay him $200, to just sit there and hold a camera. Like, nigga, you better get these angles right, nigga. Nigga, you better make sure you get my good side. You know what I mean? Am I left or am I right? I think my left side's my good side.
On to these new IRL streams, not only from a production standpoint and how taxing they can be when it comes to actually configuring these different things, also something to say about the type of fans that you do start to gain when you get into the IRL streaming bag. I'm not gonna go deep into the conversation, but for whatever reason, I think that those IRL streamers garner a certain type of audience that is much different than those legacy acts that just stay behind the computer. I can think of Emeru getting stalked and ultimately assaulted at TwitchCon. I can think of Senna, Valkyrae, Pokimane, and Emily CC all getting accosted at a boardwalk. I can think of all the different stream snipers, from Jason the Ween when he just did his London stream, from Agent when he does his Arctic stream.
The Agent shit, that shit was crazy as fuck, because this nigga is literally in the middle of nowhere. So the fact that this nigga went and pulled up on this nigga in the middle of nowhere in cold ass weather. Mind you, black people hate the cold. You know what I mean? We don't like this shit, So the fact that he walked, I think he said he walked like 20, 30 minutes too. Like, and it's negative 30 degrees outside. Yeah, no, this shit was crazy.
From Lacey when he was trying to leave the house and got caught up. Not saying that nothing happens when you're not at home streaming, but I can confidently say that I feel like these things are exacerbated when you're out in the real world. People feel like they can relate to you more. Hey, I do see Agent 00 at this Publix that looks like it's the one by my house. Let me go wait at that Publix just to see if he comes through. Shit's creepy. And so now in 2026, we're seeing the people that we known and love, display our favorite events through a camera lens, do something a little bit different, but it's something the same at the same time. They're going back to their desktops. They're sitting at their computers and their chairs and they're making content. They're gaming, they're reacting, they're talking to chat, they're getting more involved with their Discord community. Why? Because it works. I think it's cheap. I think it's sustainable. I think it's community focused, meaning that they're getting tapped back into those that
like me. I guess it would be different if I was actually the one creating content. But ideally, I feel like a good mix of desktop and IRLs would be perfect. Like, I feel like whenever I get to the point when I'm streaming, things will probably start off as like desktop streams or whatever, and then eventually it'll get to a point where, like, let's say I'm reacting to something and I'm like, yo, like, I'm gonna go pop in and do this in real life. I'll go do that, or I don't know how to get it out in words, but like I know exactly how I would go about this, and I probably would mostly be a desktop nigga too, bro.
Support them the most and not these fair weather people who have kind of picked up on them because they've become a spectacle. I think that one of the things that's most important is that it's sustainable. They can fire it up anytime that they want without bringing in a bunch of other people on these different controlling vibes with production and all this other stuff like that, blah. And most of all, it is authentic as hell. For what it's worth, being in those IRL moments, you have to be a little performative. I know that sounds like the key word of 2026, but there's some validity to it. I think that the IRL era created this level of fatigue that we do not want to see anymore. Love shows were fake. The confrontation was fake. The clip farm got even worse when it was in real life. People took things way too far, disturbing the public and, you know, getting into their food, getting into their personal space, getting into their business. IRL streaming has also gotten this bad connotation. I remember there was a time period in which I would go out with my camera phone, have it sideways, or have a regular camera, and people didn't want it simply due to the fact that, you know, people don't like being videotaped. They didn't understand what it was. Then we transitioned into an era where people understood what was going on and they embraced it a little bit. But then we quickly went back into the era of, oh no, I've seen you before on TikTok. I've seen this type of content before on my social medias, and I don't want anything to do with you. IRL streaming is,
which I'm saying that's fair, you know what I mean? Like if I'm like the lady in the nail shop with Nina Lynn, like they were just trying to go in and get their nails done. Like they didn't want to be a part of what Nina Lynn had going on, you know? It's like I understand, like if she want to record, that's cool. But if people don't want to be a part of your content, you shouldn't sit there and force them to be a part of some shit that they don't want to be a part of, you know? They didn't ask for you. They came here to do whatever they had to do. They're not asking, yo, can I be a part of your stream? You know, you're just basically taking these people's privacy for what? Some laughs and giggles, like.
is now the equivalent of a man saying that he has a podcast. You're already lumped in with some of the worst people in the world. And I also think that there's a level of safety that comes with sitting back home at the desktop. Now, don't get me wrong, swatting, doxing, harassment, those are dangerous things. And those things can come with, you know, being at home. But I think that that's totally different than the IRL stalking, people showing up at different homes, the fans tracking you in real time to your location, and the different break-ins based off of the parasocial obsession that is being created by you being outside.
Just do what you want to do. It's that easy. No shot. Brother, get out of the phone. Hold on. You know me. Brother, get out of the fucking house.
I also think it gives creators this mental break that they need from always having to appease people by collaborating with these other guests or doing things that they don't generally like to do, but because everybody's telling them that, hey, this is a good look or this is an opportunity that you can't miss, you've got to be here. Desktop streaming creates this environment in which you don't have to think about what'll give me the most viewership, but more so what'll appease the community that I rock with. Now, instead of forcing yourself to be at some award show because it's supposed to make you appear better to mainstream audiences, you can stay at home and watch your favorite Omizi video and react to it in real time. You can now find
Exactly what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you to the niggas who asked how much money I give her this. Bitch asked me that question in December. Fuck nigga. Oh wait, no, my boy.
20-something-year-olds, and you don't have to be inauthentic and robotic like Blackboy Max talks about.
I be dealing with a lot of mental shit, bro. Maybe I need more friends. I don't know. I did lose my girl. I will say this. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Bro, my girl gang, that was my best friend. And that's a whole other topic for another day. But, bro, like, that girl was my rock, gang. And it's like, could it have worked out? Maybe. But it's just like, bro, doing all the things I'm trying to do just make, man, love impossible, bro. No cap, never sell out, and I will never sell out. Right now, I'm on a path of getting my love back and feelings. I don't feel nothing, bro. I don't be happy to do shit. I've put this smile on. Some days I'll be happy, I'm not gonna lie, laughing, having a good time. It'd be short bursts, though. I'll go right back to what I gotta do tomorrow. Damn, what phone calls I gotta make tonight? Oh, what paperwork I gotta sign?
So where do I think streaming is heading in 2026? My predictions are usually right. So let me take this a little bit serious. I don't think that high profile, big broadcasty streams are just out of the way. I think those that have mastered it and will continue to replicate it when necessary. IShowSpeed is a perfect example of somebody who pulled something off like this. I think Jason the Ween did a fantastic job of this when he did his Deserted on an Island stream. Of course, Streamer University will probably come back around. That's if we get Kai Cenat back. And then as a way to kind of replace a vlog, I can see some streamers still doing stuff like this. But is it going to be this constant 24/7 like we've seen over the past couple years? I don't think so. It's not safe anymore. Mentally, physically, for your community, for your longevity, it's just not safe anymore. I see streamers getting back to their roots. I see streamers getting tapped back into their community. No longer will your numbers ebb and flow based off of who you're collaborating with or what mainstream event you're going to. For what it's worth, Queso, a big streamer in the streaming community, has maintained the same amount of viewership no matter what's going on. He doesn't have these wild swings based off of who he's chilling with. His numbers stay.
But I feel like the thing with Queso though is he's consistently like, it's like the whole Raising Cane's model. And if you don't know what I mean by that, with Queso, typically you're going, just like with Jinxie, you're gonna get gaming. Like it's pretty much mostly gaming you're gonna get here. Queso's not gonna leave a house. Queso's not gonna farm no parasocial content with girls. You come here for games, jokes, and you know what I'm saying, calm shit. Just good convos. You know what I mean? Versus places like a buffet, for example, your stuff's gonna be a lot more diverse. Like, yes, you have a more variety of people, but like some people might only like burgers, But today you're making pizza, so the people who like burgers aren't gonna be here for the pizza. You know what I mean? The people who like applesauce aren't gonna be here for the potatoes. You know what I'm saying?
Stable, and the only thing that may or may not impact them is the food that he's eating that week and the games that he's playing. So IRL streaming may be dead, or at least it's on the way out, but that doesn't mean that streaming isn't still alive. And I knew this was coming because based off of putting on the event I put on this weekend with the help of some good guys, I don't even know how people found this to be sustainable. Tired, hungry, overworked, so many variables, so many people that you have to deal with, and then thinking about how you can top it the next time, and we're only in February.
Yeah, way too much, But with that being said, man, y'all let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Every single sub is greatly appreciated. Until next time. Peace.